Questions above: if a pair concluded for a line of rapes on girls were portion of a pedophile circle include led to telephone call for a severe instance overview. It follows the opening a sacrifices over appeal was not acted on. In October, a jury trial at Cardiff Corona trial heard how for year the pair had transferred out a supported campaigning of rape her and misuse of youthful girls they maintained in their hometown. While they were concluded, it seemed their victims could at low get ease knowledge the couple had been stopped. Their stories propose the abuser pair could include been condemned year up. Sally Ambridge waited 25 years to speak the police force the Griffiths abused her as a kid, afraid she wouldn't be believed. He utilized her to get us in, for him to rape her. They were a crew, they did it along, she told. It's happy I'm too frightened to murder by myself since I would include. I thick felt how low but later portion of me mind not, believe of your household. I requested out of it all, it's terrible. Sally wasn't the just one creature offended by the pair. At the age of 7, Joanne Downward was at first aimed by Peter Griffiths. He was marital to her older part sister Avril and they were babysitting her at their household. A episode of outings on his fishery ship accompanied wherever she would be abused at sex parties. How's how I knew they were police force commanders, separately of them boasting on it. Joanne told in the deceased 1980s, the Griffiths took her to car parks in southward Wales and in another place to encounter some pedophiles. They'd garden up and down there'd be other order down there, she told. They utilized to get us, me surely, and undergo a circle. They were not operating one. Else female, who was a key proceedings eyewitness at the pair's test, supports Joanne's complaint on police force commander's creature this on the ship on one event. The eyewitness, who does not wish to be identified, told, down there were police force on the ship. Down there were men in police force uniforms, police force coats, and fishermen since they had on big woolly jumpers. How you connect in fishermen. The eyewitness told at the period in the deceased 1980s, she did not speak nobody which she had seen. Who do you speak? You are imaginary to confidence the police force. The victims weren't the just ones who mind the Griffiths should be studied. Talk anonymously, she told. For a trip to the pair's building, she became concerned on the well-being of a youthful lady. She looked on 14 or 15. She wasn't one of their family, she told. Peter was out at the period and while Avril leftward the chamber the lady said me she was stay in them. She as well said me the pair had been take bare photographic of her. Avril came behind and told how her and Peter were encouraged the lady, but I didn't trust how since I knew Peter had a belief for a sex crime. The female told she informed her concerns to the justice's family services crew. The justice told it was unfeasible to identification any accounting records regarding to the instance, since it doesn't include quite data on the lady. Southward Wales Police Force told commanders sought public services accounting records and found no concoction on the pair of the 1990s. Joanne told she as well groaned the alarm signal. In the deceased 1980s, quickly following the rape her on executive board the Griffiths ship, she said a public employee and was brief undertaken in the thoroughness of the ex-Southward Glamorgan justice. She believes had activity been undertaken later, some girls may include been stored of misuse. I mind they'd be stopped, how I would get assist. I mind they'd go and detention Peter and Avril but anything happened, she told. In 2000, Joanne heard crisp concoction Peter Griffiths was misuse family. She said Southward Wales Police Force on her experiences, expressive commanders wherever they could discover obscene photographic at the pair's building and give her descriptions of some men who had been on the ship. I said them the names of all the some girls who were in the scrapbook, one of whom was Sally Ambridge, she told. Joanne told police force said her they had closed the girls, but were said they didn't wish to collaborate. It was just 18 years after, following the test, how she found police force had not speak to Sally. The key proceedings eyewitness who was on the ship the overnight Joanne was abused told she as well tell to police force in 2000, one day she knew Joanne had done concoction on the Griffiths. I tell to a detective story. He told he'd go and see me and go via all. I never heard of him once again, she told. Ultimately it was Sally who stipulated the breakout. He was already aware of the pair following driving to Bari in 2000 to job as a police force constabulary. While we utilized to go on nights, you'd see a white's van parked downward the Knapp Gardens, but I never saw them, never tell to them. It was just the rumors. Why is down there a white's van parked downward the Knapp? It was Peter and Avril, he told. I believe this police force, believed how it was fair woman swapping in concerted adults. Down there was anything to propose, how down there was whatever comprising family. Det Sergeant Wealthy told he could not discover any documents detained by public services regarding to Joanne's complaints. Southward Wales Police Force told it had not been capable to discover testimony of a web of pedophiles related to the pair. At his test, Peter Griffiths told the pair done porno films. In one they shot by themselves and the eyewitness of the test possessing sex in a man boyfriend of the Griffiths. Peter Griffiths told the identical man had sex in Joanne at their building. Police force include had the behalf of the man with the test ended, but include not surveyed Joanne or the key eyewitness on him with the pair were concluded. The strength told in spite manufacturing inquiries, they include not arranged the person. While police force newly opened the instance in 2015, all the testimony given by Joanne was found to be lacking. The folder had been loose in a flooding and a backup ruined. Fortunately we've currently driven in system so the wouldn't occur, told Det Sergeant Wealthy. Sadly behind in 2000 how framework wasn't in location. The way we transactions in police force data has now modified so documents wouldn't get ruined. Joanne and Sally include both of complained to Southward Wales Police Force on the processing of the concoction done in 2000. The strength told Fight Kid sex misuse was a precedence. It told, with the test of Peter and Avril Griffiths, data about concoction of PIN among police force commanders and the accused Peter Griffiths include been informed to police force. The inquiry is continuing. It as well told it would see in claims concerning some pedophiles, if new testimony came to lighting. If we trust these victims, and apparently a jury trial did, how they were offended by the pair, later why are you not religious them while they say down there were some human beings implicated in their misuse? Which makes you believe they are lie on one while they are expressive the true on else, he told. If it was a plot or several type of incapacity I don't aware but down there ought to be a overview of it, and while it conducted location it as necessary to be condyloma and all. Southward Wales Police Force told it anticipated the highest probable standards of its commanders and personnel and took any appeal or statement regarding to in persons hold very severely.